Hey guys, this is Fountainhead. Welcome back to another episode of my mixing tricks. Today I'm going to talk about one of my absolute favorite things to play around with, field recordings, and how you can incorporate that into your mix to enhance the atmosphere. This example right here is once again from the song called Janus by Oh Graceful Musing's Burden, a band which I mixed and worked with recently. Now we're going to look at the outro. The outro of the song has this track here, a mono recording that the band did on their iPad, I think. Step 1. Make a copy of the mono track. Pan that one hard right and the other one hard left. Now we've got two identical versions of the same source, which will result in them being mono again. If we shift the timing of one of the two, let's say 9 milliseconds, we're suddenly getting a stereo image. But with about 9 milliseconds, it sounds like you're using a stereo chorus or something like that. And the more you shift the timing, I'm shifting it to about 30 milliseconds now, the more you get the impression that we're listening to two different microphones placed a couple of meters apart. So that gives us a lot more of that immersive sound experience that we're after, because now with this kind of stereo image that we got, we can place things, or in our case instruments, in the middle of it. The next step would be to route both tracks to a group, because I can just treat both tracks at the same time with whatever I'm going to do. And the first thing I'm going to do is to filter out some low end, because here in this little bit that we've been listening to, there's this sudden burst of low frequencies that occurs when the wind hits the microphone. I'm sure you can hear that as well. So I'm using just the low cut at about 100 Hertz on the channel EQ from Cubase, and that should kill the low end. Yep, good enough for me. And now the only other thing that I'm doing to these tracks is a combination of just slight stereo enhancement with the stereo expander, and sending a little bit of the signal to a reverb that I've set up. It's a pretty small reverb, the Lexicon chamber here. Okay, see if you want to copy the settings. And I'm adding a little bit of harmonic distortion, a little bit of saturation to that as well. Okay, let's see how that sounds. It's not drastic, but as you probably can hear, it's a little bit more as if we're standing in between those two microphones. So again, we're only exaggerating what's already in there. But I think we're not done yet. I think we can do even more. And what I'm trying to do with this field recording is to focus on the actual rain that seems to have been captured and I want to try bringing that out even more. So here there's a new track that I set up. It's called Rain, and I'm sending my signal to that track. So for now I'm muting the output of the iPad group. So let's just focus on what we can do to this new copy of the signal. Okay, so this is what we have now. And let's see what happens if I filter out all of the low end beneath 370 Hertz. Okay, so the wind is gone and we're left with the rain and the sound of the water trickling down. And that's exactly what I want to emphasize here. So to emphasize that even more, let's just boost the shit out of this one. Why? Because I can. And using some extreme stereo spread here on this new track. And I'm also bringing in the crystallizer from Soundtoys. This is a kind of a combination between a harmonizer, a delay. It's a really cool effects plugin. Man, that sounds like a storm, like a thunderstorm. We really exaggerated what's already been in there. And now let's bring in the original again and then let's see what comes out if we bring that new track back in with the original one in really small steps. Okay, as you can see, we are in a different mixing session now. We are in the final mixing session for the track Janus. And now you can hear how it sits in the track. Okay, so that's it. I really hope you got something out of this. Come up with your own variations on the techniques I've shown you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments below if you have any questions regarding the content, or maybe if you have a suggestion for another topic that you'd like me to cover in a future video. You can also get in touch on facebook.com/fountainheadmusician. But for now, I'll say take care and goodbye.